we're going to be talking about how a huge Roblox car game just got banned, but before I go over that, make sure to subscribe and drop a like in this video. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, I want to go over what the game was, why it got banned, and if it could happen to any other game. So let's start by showing you all what the game exactly was that got banned. Now, this is the game right here. This is one of my old videos I made on it. It was called Carzone, and I'm just going to quickly show you all some parts of it. So they had really realistic cars. The game was this ultra realistic car game. As you can see, it looked phenomenal. This game, super high quality, very realistic. It was really cool, and this wasn't even the latest version. We're looking at it 5 months ago. I think as of 2 days ago it was still online on Roblox. I think it got taken down yesterday. But basically, this game, as you can tell, was really realistic, and I'm sure it improved since the last time I had checked it out here in this video. What happened? Why did Carzone get banned? So, Carzone, they averaged, I don't know how much their game averaged in players, but I know it had a lot of players. But why exactly were they banned? Well, I think, to be honest with you all, the reason why they might have got banned, I think, is because they basically had stolen assets in their game, supposedly, and they had car models in there that were too realistic without permission or licensing from the car brands. So let me kind of go in detail more about these two things and how they got the game banned. Now, supposedly, the map in Carzone was a stolen asset. Now, what does that mean? So the map is the thing that we're driving on in Driving Empire right now. The whole world that is Driving Empire is a map, and the Carzone map, the world that was Carzone, basically, supposedly, Carzone had purchased that map off of another game, Apex Autosport, that had never released. But I guess they were also using some stolen assets on the map that they weren't supposed to from Apex So I guess this is kind of confusing. The best way to put it, let's say Carzone purchased the map off Apex Autosport. From what I understand, they were only allowed to use some parts of the map, but stuff like trees and bushes might not have been allowed. That's, I guess, why they might have gotten in trouble for stolen assets. But Carzone said that they purchased it all. Apex Autosport said they didn't purchase it all. That's for everyone else in the comments to decide who's at the right there. I don't really know the whole stolen asset part, but I know that was part of the reason for the ban. Now, the other part of the reason for the ban was because they had cars that they weren't supposed to. So let me kind of go more in detail about these cars that they aren't supposed to have. Now, if we look at my video here, you can see they have Porsche, Lamborghinis, Koenigsegg's, BMWs, Bugattis. Now, that's a lot of cars, right? And you'd be like, dang, that's a lot to license, because we hop in Driving Empire, right? And you can see, Driving Empire doesn't even have some of those brands licensed. But no, they actually weren't licensed. They were in-game illegally, so that means that they could get in big trouble with Roblox and stuff for having those cars in there. And it was only a matter of time for a brand like a Bugatti or Koenigsegg to notice, hey, this game that's averaging actually a lot of players, because Carzone did get pretty popular. I think it had 1,000 players or more at its peak. I don't know what it was at before it got banned, but it was a pretty big car game, making some serious money, I'm sure. And I know that if a car brand saw that, they would probably be pretty frustrated because, for example, this Mercedes in Driving Empire isn't licensed yet. Now, Driving Empire technically could get in trouble for that, right? So this this car that's not licensed is illegally in-game. This is a great example of it. Every car in Carzone was like that. In Driving Empire, there's literally only one brand left, and it's Mercedes. And I'm going to be completely honest, it would have been removed by now if they weren't getting licensed. So most likely, Driving Empire, the game we're in right now, is safe. I don't think they're ever going to get in trouble ever again for that. But Carzone, my guess is Carzone, the game that got banned, probably got a cease and desist to remove the stuff from the game. They probably didn't listen. This is all assuming, by the way. I don't know for sure. But my guess is they didn't listen, and the cars all probably got, or the car brands all got mad because they didn't remove their real cars from the game without permission. So then they had to, Roblox had to take them down probably. One of the car brands maybe reported them, and Roblox has to comply with the brands for legal purposes. So my guess is maybe it could have been Bugatti, maybe Lamborghini, maybe Koenigsegg could have gotten them banned for having them in game without licensing. Now, what does this mean for other games that have cars like this? Now, we kind of went over this quickly, how Driving Empire has a Mercedes like this, but they're fine. But that's because Driving Empire has gotten so many licenses now. They've already reached out to Mercedes for licensing, and if Mercedes said no, they would have removed them by now. So they're probably just waiting for the right time to turn these cars into licensed models, or if they really had to remove them, they would have been removed by now. So Driving Empire is one of the games that is probably never going to get in trouble again for having cars like that. But what about games like Vehicle Legends, for example? Well, Vehicle Legends, they might be at risk. They could maybe get in trouble still. They have a lot of cars that are not licensed still, like Bugatti is one of them. So I don't think they would get in too much trouble though. I mean, I know there's like a system where like if you get 3 or more cease and desist, then Roblox will take your game down, but I don't think that's gonna happen to Vehicle Legends. They could only get maybe 1 or 2, I know off the top of my head. So I think they're fine for now. I think Vehicle Legends, we don't have to worry about them getting taken down. But other car games that are less known, less popular, if you all play any, let me know what they are. They could be at risk, because Carzone was one of those games. It's not as big as Driving Empire. It didn't have as much funding as Vehicle Legends or Driving Empire does. So, you know, Vehicle Legends Driving Empire has years of revenue, tons of funding. Carzone was a newer game. They didn't have any money to pay for licenses, so that's why they kind of had cars that were illegally in games. So they obviously got screwed over because of that. So if any other car games are like them that are too small but have all these really realistic cars, they could easily get screwed over, sued, taken down. It's very possible that it could happen. Now, how could car games prevent this? Well, they could either try to go about licensing, which is kind of complicated because, like I said, it's really expensive and hard to do for a smaller game, but they could also just make their own unique fake cars. Now, Driving Empire did this for a period of time. Let me see if I can find an example of what a fake car would look like. Right here, this is a great example. The Bolinglo, this is a perfect example of a fake model Bugatti. They take a Bugatti shape and then they modify all like the licensed parts of it, like the tail lights, the exhaust, the headlights, the front bumper, the rear bumper. They modify the parts that would get them sued to then be custom and a bit fake, and then that allows them to have these cars in game without getting in trouble. So basically, Carzone could have done that, but for now, what I've heard is they probably are going to reach out to Roblox and figure out what they can do to get their game back. Now, I personally don't know if it's possible, but we can hope for them. Now, in order for them to get their game back on Roblox, what they would have to do is they would probably have to go through the Roblox system, you know, figuring out what in their game is not allowed. And if it's car models, for example, like real Bugattis, they would have to remove all those from the game, and then the game could come back. Or if there was other stuff in the game, it could be worse. Like, for example, what I was saying was the stolen map thing. I heard the drama about the stolen map a while ago, and I don't know if that was the cause of their ban, but it could potentially be one of the causes. So if the map is the part of the game that they have to get, you know, changed, then, you know, they're gonna have to remove the whole map and make a whole new map for Carzone, which could take a lot of time. So you see what I'm saying? Like, imagine Driving Empire today had to delete this whole map, for example. They would have to spend probably like a month or 2 rushing a new map that probably wouldn't even be as good just to get the game back out, which really would suck. So I don't know what Carzone's gonna do if it's the map, but for their sake, hopefully it's just a car brand or 2 that they have to remove. But in order to get it taken down, like I said, it probably had to be 3 brands that requested or like DMCA'd them, and then Roblox had to take them down. So my guess is at least 3 brands. 3 brands probably have to be removed at least. I'm guessing they would just end up removing all the real cars, adding fake cars, which would ruin the game. And then the map, if it's the map as well, oh my god, basically their whole game is just done for. So I really don't know what Carzone's gonna do. There's a slight chance it could come back, but most likely it's not looking too good for them. I don't know if they're gonna be able to come back. But I do think that's gonna be everything for today's video. I truly hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like. I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe, ring the notification bell so you never miss another upload. Check out the video on screen here. YouTube, thanks for liking it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.